I feel bad, but not that bad. Edit, I don't feel bad at all. My son was diagnosed with Krabbe disease when he was a few months old. Unfortunately, they don't do prenatal screening for Krabbe disease. His mom would have had an abortion if she'd known. It was like taking care of a doll 24/7 for the last 7 years. Now that he's gone, I feel relieved. He's in a better place if it exists, and his mom and I can go out separate ways in life. I can go to a movie or a bookstore and no worry about my son or his needs. It sounds fucked up, but if I were an ass then I would have bailed on him and his mom. It'll be weird with his mom because we've been enmeshed in each other's lives and now there's no reason to communicate. There's no hard feelings. We were like co-workers. Edit, thank you all so much for the awards and for your supportive messages and advice. I really got the best sample group of Redditors today. I got fired today from a job I really loved. I am not the best with money, and with the increase in income, my first salaried job, I spent recklessly. I have barely enough for rent today and my dog gets dry food. I turn 26 tomorrow and this is probably the lowest I've ever felt. I haven't broken down yet, and it'll probably happen in a few hours when my girlfriend comes home and I have to tell her what has happened. I am ashamed to call my parents and let them know I'll be asking for help with rent next month, and I know I'll have to hear them say that they knew moving for my girlfriend and a new job was a bad idea, and this is not surprising to them. In the meeting where they fired me, all I could say is that I tried really hard here, and it's true. I did. I have diagnosed ADHD, and experienced a 3-week lapse of my meds that led me to make poor administration of decisions. I started with them, gained a lot of momentum and felt recognized in my career for the first time, and when I ran out of my medication, I couldn't handle as much as I could with it. I am so mad at myself for not being more on top of it, and upset that I can't get another shot to make it work again. I turn 26 tomorrow. It feels like I am supposed to have it together at least a little, and I don't know when I actually will. Edit for clarity, I guess, I am a girl. I didn't think it was super pertinent, but now we all know. This story started out a few years ago. My wife and I were having sexy times when I got really aroused at her moaning. I asked if she could give me a BJ while she used a vibrator on herself. I told her that I really wanted to feel her moan on my dick when she inevitably orgasmed from the vibrator. Let me tell you that it was an amazing feeling. I started asking for it more and more. Over the last year or so my wife has even begun to ask me for it. She was never one that really enjoyed giving BJs in the past, but now she is soaking wet even after regular BJs. It didn't click what I had done until I had watched the episode from The Office, in which Jim Pavlov's Dwight. Not sure if I should be sharing this trick with everyone. I don't know what the moral ramifications are for purposefully Pavloving someone. This is an extremely important post. If someone thinks that they might possibly need another person's help someday, maybe they shouldn't be an asshole today. The person you are being an asshole to might just be the person you need to help you. There was a girl that was a horrible bully in high school. I saw her torture many of my classmates, including my younger sister, beating them up physically, challenging boys and girls to fight, threatening people to do stuff, etc. I was never directly her victim, although that was mostly because scrawny me was probably a waste of time for her. She ignored my existence throughout my first 2 years of high school, but then my sister and I transferred to another school farther away, and I did not see that bully again until the interview. I was a hiring manager at a startup biotech company and she was applying for a well-paying position. She walked in and saw I was the interviewer and she literally froze. I asked her ridiculously difficult technical questions that she fumbled and stammered over. At the end of the interview, I looked at her and said, "I'm sorry, you just don't have what it takes. I'm not going to be able to offer you the position." Normally we tell people we will get back to them in a few days, but I wanted to see the look on her face. She told me that she really needed this job, she had been out of work for 3 months already, and that she knew that if I just gave her a chance she could prove to me that she could do the work. I looked at her again and said, "I just can't set our company up for failure by hiring you. The interview is over." I then stood up and offered her my hand. She shook it and left. I saw as she sat in her car and cried for 10 minutes before she was calm enough to leave. I felt like I scored one for all the people who have been bullied that day. As a 21-year-old woman, I know most men my age would be loath to admit an experience to a girl, so I always felt a bit deviant for this, but there's nothing more attractive to me. Knowing a guy would trust me to properly take care of him, teach him, and treat him well, especially with something as intimate as relationships. I'm really down bad for that. So for all those less experienced men out there, it is not a bad thing or unattractive at all. Smile.